Hey everybody, it's first thing in the morning here on Tuesday morning. I've just come down and woken everybody up, and to my disappointment I found my Snakeskin Gourami in the back corner sort of laying on the ground, and you can actually see her. She's back there doing it again. And when I saw that, I just assumed she was dead. And then of course when I actually looked at her closely, she got up and she started swimming around. And she's very clearly struggling. She cannot move the back half of her body. There's no doubt at this point that she's got something's causing paralysis in the back half of her body. So I haven't fed the tank yet. I did watch her swim around. She swam around very awkwardly. Again, she can't really use the back half of her body, so she's trying to do pretty much everything with her pectoral fins. So I'm going to go ahead and feed the tank here in a minute and see if that doesn't get her up and going. And, again, as long as she can eat and function, I'm not going to just go ahead and euthanize her for no reason. I've seen plenty of fish that swim around funny for years on end. In fact, in this tank right here, actually it's this guy right here. It's one of my blue glowfish, and it's much smaller than the other ones. And the reason it's so much smaller is because it can never stop swimming. It doesn't have a swim bladder functioning properly, at least I'm assuming. And if it stops swimming, it just sinks right to the bottom of the tank. And that has been in this tank like this for 2 years, maybe, almost 2 years. And it's been swimming around like that. So just because a fish has an issue and doesn't move around properly doesn't mean it's time to just euthanize it. In her case, however, if she gets to the point where she can't get up off the bottom and, it becomes like she's really struggling, and I see that she's losing weight, and I can just tell that it's going to be a long, slow death, that'll be something a little bit different. But this is kind of new to me. I haven't ever seen her do this before. So I'm definitely going to be watching and waiting and seeing what happens. See, there you go. You can see she's up and moving. She's not dead. I think she's just resting. It's, I've seen fish that lay on the bottom and sleep. I've never seen gouramis do that, but I've also never seen a gourami that is partially paralyzed either. So sleeping on the bottom may just be something she does now, and then once she's up and moving, she'll be, able to swim around and everything, as long as she can feed. And if her bowels move, which I still have yet to see, but of course she's also not exhibiting any signs of constipation. She's not getting bloated or swollen or anything like that. So I'm not too concerned. Here she is. I'm not too concerned about any constipation issues. So as long as she's still in there feeding and eating, I'm not going to worry too much about it. I will admit it's a little difficult to look at. It's a little unpleasant to watch. But I've said before, I've got a dog with a gimpy leg, and he can be a little uncomfortable to watch, but after a while you just get used to it, and that's how he moves around. And he's just got one leg that doesn't work right, and you just after a couple of days you just don't pay any attention to it anymore. So this may be the same sort of case where we just get to the point where, well, my Snakeskin Gourami just swims around a little funny, but as long as she's able to eat and function, I'm going to leave her be. I don't see any point in just killing her outright for no particular reason other than she swims funny. So I'm going to go ahead and feed the tank, and we'll see what happens when I do that. I do need both hands to do that, so I'm going to stop here. Actually, I'm just going to go ahead and pause it, so there'll be a brief break, and then I'll start filming again once the food's in the tank, and we'll see what's going on. Alright, well, unfortunately, despite the fact that everybody else is having a good old time and enjoying their breakfast, she has gone back to this corner and is now just lying there with her nose down in the substrate like she was when I found her this morning. So maybe just getting out and swimming around the tank a little bit like she was just doing a moment ago is enough to exhaust her, because of the she can't use all the muscles in her body. I mean, imagine if you had to get around using nothing but the muscles in your hands. Your hands would get pretty tired pretty quickly, and that's pretty much what she's forced to do. She can only use those pectoral fins to move around, so I would imagine she is not in the best of conditions. So I'm definitely not having high hopes for my Snakeskin Gourami. I was actually thinking we were out of the woods the other day, and I thought we weren't going to have any more issues with her. Other than maybe she's a little bit injured and going to swim a little funny. I still think that's what happened. I think genetics might play a part in this, but I still think she actually bashed into something. It's not uncommon. I've heard loud thumps before, and I've looked over and my Snakeskin Gourami and my 125 is, just banged into the glass, and he's darted and dashed because of one of those fish spooked him. It doesn't even have to be me. So they're just a skittish fish, and they're big and they're powerful, and let's face it, when you're that big and powerful, a 55-gallon tank is not exactly a lot of running around room, especially when there's all this wood and rock work and everything else. So it's very likely that she just bashed herself in the head really hard and has not, recovered, or is not going to recover. So at this point, my prognosis is looking a little more grim. Unfortunately, we might be doing a euthanization video here in the fairly near future, and don't worry, I will not actually do that on video. But I have talked about euthanizing fish before. It is something that unfortunately comes up from time to time in the hobby. If you're going to keep fish, at some point that unfortunate day is going to come where you're going to have to do them that final favor. And in this case, it looks like that may be coming up soon for my Snakeskin Gourami. But don't give up hope yet. She is still swimming around, and who knows, maybe she just had a rough night, and by this afternoon I'll be scratching my head going, well, I wonder what was wrong with her this morning, because she looks fine now. I just don't know. It's just, it's from day to day, wait and see. Every day when I come down and turn the lights on, I check. And like I say, this morning I had a little bit of a scare, so I thought it was worth doing a little bit of an update video here. But like I said, she's not done yet, so don't write her off just yet. We're going to wait and see. So thanks for watching. Hope that wasn't too much of a bummer. First thing in the morning, I know it definitely set the tone for my day a little bit differently. I'm going to be thinking about things a little bit more seriously today. My fish options anyway. So thanks for watching. If you're not subscribed, please go ahead and do so. That way you won't miss anything. I do a lot of random stuff like this, plus I do a lot of other more stable type stuff like my Around the World updates, which are very popular. So go ahead and subscribe. That way you won't miss any of those. And I will see you real soon on the next one, hopefully with a little bit better news.